Hello, everyone. Welcome to Peerless 2025. I want to start by thanking all of you here that still care about diversity. Apparently, you are the rebels. Now, during this time when it can feel like the tides are really pulling us backwards just a little bit, it means even more that you're all here supporting this and supporting bold founders. Now, for those of you who haven't met me personally, my name is Desiree Almodovar, and I'm an operating partner at AlleyCorp. Now, while this has been a lot of work for me, for us, to bring this all together, the ones really moving mountains here are our 5 finalists. They are making aviation safer, rethinking healthcare, clean energy, and even building products that help other founders build faster and better. Now, while these are the 5 finalists that made it here tonight to this stage, this journey started off with over 1,000 founders, and I really can't tell you how moving and inspiring it's been to just see all of these things these founders are dreaming up. Now, I want to take this opportunity to thank the entire AlleyCorp team, because each and every one of you has played such a big role in bringing this to life, so thank you so much. Now, I will try to keep my thank yous short, but there's quite a few of them. The entire ecosystem here that's come together to make this a reality. There are the VC partners that have helped us with deal flow. There are dozens and dozens of scouts that helped us review and score applications. And honestly, I think between all of them, they spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on this. There are top founders that led fireside chats and panels. And also, many of you individuals, and you know who you are, who picked up the phone when I called to not just talk about strategy, but to have an emotional breakdown of another tragic headline in the news. So thank you for that. And I want to leave you with this. While many people are saying that we have to just wait this out, we're doing the opposite. We're not waiting, we're funding. And we're doing it in a substantial way that actually moves the needle for founders. Now, I also want to take a moment to thank our lead partners, who each not only have been incredible builders alongside us, but they are also offering their services to our finalists. For banking, JP Morgan, legal, Pillsbury, and accounting, Citrin Cooperman. And of course, Google for hosting us all here tonight, or this afternoon, I guess, this time. And with that, I will hand it off to Google to talk a little bit about Google for Startups and Google Cloud.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here today to join us for Peerless Pitch. I'm really excited to be here again, hosting you all in this space. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Google Cloud for Startups team. So I can kick you off right now. But the Google Cloud for Startups team, if you can go to the next slide, team back there. Thank you. Sorry, I just want the visual behind me. The Google Cloud for Startups team here is dedicated to helping startups grow and thrive. And so what we are able to do and provide for startups in our programming is okay, yes, there we go. Okay, next, we're moving on.
I will empower you.
Thank you.
I had to pitch today.
No one gave me that. Okay, great. Thank you. Next. Okay, so Google for Startups is a flagship program here at Google that is specifically designed to help startups thrive. We also have investment-focused teams. We have incubators to build products. And we have, sorry, this is not going for me. Okay. And then we offer a range of resources, including cloud credits, technical mentorship, as well as community and networks here. So Google is not just providing the tools here, we're providing dedicated people and programs to actively accelerate our startup success. First, with technical guidance, Google engineers and subject matter experts across the board, financial empowerment, which is a substantial offset to your infrastructure costs, especially in the crucial early stages. Third, the power of community and visibility. So Google offers curated events and connections for startups in our program. These aren't generic conferences. This is access to highly targeted potential customers, mentors, and strategic partners that Google can facilitate. And then Google is also future-proofing this program. AI and Web3 are obviously rapidly evolving spaces, and startups who get an edge in these areas now will lead into the next wave of innovation. So this program keeps us at the cutting edge. So if you're interested, or you know someone who might be interested in the program, in the Google Cloud for Startups program, I highly encourage you to tap me on the shoulder after the event, and we can chat more about it. And I'm really happy to kick things off with our pitch competition. So thanks, team.
Thank you. Yinka, where are you sitting? There you are.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak at Peerless again. 9 months ago, I was on this stage pitching Halo Braid, and so it's wonderful to be back and to be on the other side of the competition. Just so, if you haven't met me yet, I'm Yinka. I'm the founder and CEO of Halo Braid. We're a hair technology company, and we're building effectively an AI-powered braiding robot to help professionals finish braids in minutes, not hours. You might have got your hair braided, but if you haven't, imagine if every time you got your hair cut, it took 6 hours. It cost $200 to $300, and it gave your hairstylist arthritis at age 29. This is the state of hair braiding today, and it's the definition of overlooked because it's an $11 billion market. It's the most popular hairstyle for 20 million Americans, and last year there were 70 million braiding appointments in the US alone. And despite this, it hasn't seen innovation in about 5,000 years, so that's the problem that we are solving. And so last year I was wearing braids made by our patent-pending device, pitching to AlleyCorp and on this Peerless stage, and kind of looking to take our company to the next level. And so winning $1 million at the Peerless Pitch competition last year was critical to our success. The first thing we did was redesign our device completely. It was this size, and now it's this size. It was faster than the stylist, and now it's 5 times faster. We added about 6 machine learning algorithms powered by data from thousands of braids that we've done in testing and salon pilots since. The co-owners of the largest chain of braiding salons are now on our team. Our samples are coming from the factories as we speak, and we're on track to launch to a waitlist representing over 20 million in ARR. So this competition was a huge opportunity for us, and I personally think that Peerless is one of the most important funding competitions in the world. If you were to look at me on paper, I'm a cookie-cutter ideal founder. I'm a biomechanical engineer. I founded startups before. I have multiple patents, 3 degrees from Harvard. I'm British. But in reality, or in practice, if you look at the vast majority of investor portfolios, very few of the founders look like me. And this is a problem. And if our market is huge, but most investors and VCs don't know that because most VCs do not get their hair braided. Although Kevin Ryan's told me he's willing to try. And so I see Peerless as a commitment to investing in underrepresented founders and the impact that they will generate. And maybe I just have a romantic view of my role as an inventor and all of our roles, that we are here to help solve some of the world's biggest problems. And that can look like giving people economic mobility, more joy, more health, and the most precious resource of all, which is more time. But some problems are way overrepresented in terms of investment, and some problems are completely forgotten. And many viable and lucrative solutions are never pursued. And it's not because of a lack of talent or technology or expertise, it's because of a lack of capital. So today I want to make the financial case for investing in companies and programs like Peerless and some of the incredible founders that you're going to hear from later today. The founder that will do twice as much with half the resources is probably underrepresented. The founder with a unique perspective who will build something no one else can or no one else has even thought of is probably underrepresented. The founder who will not take your investment for granted is probably underrepresented. And the founder who will return your fund and even more is probably underrepresented. And I might be biased, but if you're in the room, it's probably because you believe that as well. And so I ask that when we leave the room, let's make real deal financial investments in these types of founders. Because advice is amazing, but capital is king. And so lastly, I just want to close with some quick thank yous. Kevin Ryan, it takes a real leader to embrace and support something that's this transformative and novel, so thank you. Desiree for championing Peerless. I don't think we'd have got investment from AlleyCorp with it, so thank you. Abe Murray and Brandon Jones for your conviction, your expertise, your advice, and your commitment to deep tech. You know, like I know, that the most valuable companies in the world are deep tech companies. And then to the greater AlleyCorp team, to the MLT team, for your support and mentorship during diligence and after. I really, really appreciate it. I think Peerless is peerless. It had a monumental impact on Halo Braid. I'm sorry, I've just been back. It had a monumental impact on Halo Braid. I'm honored that we were the first winners of Peerless last year, and I can't wait to see the impact that all the winners to come have. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Kevin Ryan, and thank you, Yinka, for that. The one thing I want to correct is Yinka's underestimating how long it took me to turn this hair white. That doesn't happen in one day. Yeah, it takes 6 hours to braid hair. This took 40 years of stress and children to turn this completely white. And so I just want to get some credit for that. But we are really pleased to be a part of her company. Watch what she's doing. It's the very, very early stages, but it's a fantastic example for us of what we're trying to do here. I want to thank Desiree because she thanks everyone else, but obviously none of this happens without Desiree. She did 99% of the work, and so just a round of applause. As you can imagine, one of the things here is that everyone is, volunteering for this, so she has to work with everyone and persuade them and cajole them to help out. And she does that in such a nice way that you feel like you want to help. And so many people have helped. And that's why we are here today. I want to thank MLT, too, who's been our partner from day one on this. And we would not have been successful without them. So thank you, MLT. And the final thing I just want to say is that, as Desiree said, when we did this a year ago, obviously a good idea. We're committed to what we're doing. But it is more important today. And I've had some conversations in the last couple of weeks with senior people in running universities, other places who are not speaking up, who are frankly being intimidated by what is going on in the world. And we are prouder than ever to be committed to the idea of helping make this world more equitable, more diverse, more interesting, more successful. And we're not going to back off from that. So thank you. With that, we're going to get this underway. We are excited. We're going to bring up, we have many judges. There's 7 or 8 judges here. On the stage, we're just going to have 5 of us today. So if I can call up Tanya Beha, Omar Jai, Easton Russell, and Olga Rocha, and me. We're going to be the judges on the stage, and I'm going to hand the mic over to the MC of the stars, Brandon, who's going to take it from here.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, judges. Okay. Because the only person who who they are on this stage right now is Kevin, we will give all the judges an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then I will kick us off. And Easton, I will take that from you. That is
start clicking.
Please don't. All right. And Easton, please go ahead with your guys' interviews.
Hello, everyone. I'm Easton Rossell. I'm the venture director with Hearst Lab. Hearst Lab invests in female CEOs in the pre-seed to Series A stages, primarily B2B tech founders. This is my 2nd year at Peerless, so I've seen every competition, and so I'm very excited. Congratulations to the finalists.
Hi, everyone. My name is Omar Jai. I'm a principal on the healthcare team at AlleyCorp, and very excited for today. It's been amazing to see, the 500 or so folks that applied, and it's really excited to hear these presentations from our finalists.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olga Rocha, and I'm representing JPMorgan Chase, where I sit in corporate responsibility, and I am a business growth and market strategy VP. Excited to be here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tanya Beja. I work at AlleyCorp, where I lead our investments in economic infrastructure. I'm super excited to be here, and thank you all for being here, too.
Wonderful. Please give it up one more time for our judges. And I am Brandon Jones. I'm an investor at AlleyCorp. I invest in deep tech, which is robotics, it's aerospace, it's hardware, advanced manufacturing, energy transition infrastructure, which is as nebulous as it sounds. But no, you didn't come here to hear about robotics trends or news. You came to see something amazing. And so that we will give you. I actually have to take a moment to say I am so happy about the turnout. Last year, if you were here, we did it in the evening, and it felt more like cocktail hour, and you have a pitch event. And so Desiree and I were talking. We're like, oh, afternoon, what will turnout look like? We were like, don't people have meetings? But it turns out nobody wants to work. So thank you all for coming and surprising us. It is a distinct pleasure to have you, and even more of a pleasure to be able to introduce our finalists, who are the top 5 out of 1,100 total applicants, hopefuls. So with that, we will kick it off. And we will begin with Colby Harvey, CEO of UltraView AI. Let me click through. Oh, back one.
Yeah.
Back one.
There you go.
You are, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, and last thing, ground rules. I will be a stickler for time. So you get 5 minutes to pitch, then 3 minutes, and then I will come up and I will forcibly take the mic out of your hands. Anyway.
No pressure.
Good luck.
No pressure. Hi, everyone. All right. Hi, my name is Colby, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of UltraView AI. For the past decade, flying has been seen as the safest form of transportation. So safe, you don't even really think about it when you book that ticket. But with the recent events involving airlines like United, Delta, and Southwest, the feeling of safety is really fading. And the reason why this is happening is because of a massive shortage in technicians. Boeing projects that over the next decade, there will be a shortfall of over 700,000 maintenance technicians, leading to a crisis in the aviation industry. And if you ask any aviation or airline executive what their number one concern is the fact that they won't have enough people to service their fleets. But the problem goes so much deeper than that. Manual inspections today are manual, they're labor intensive, and they're dangerous, taking upwards of 220 hours to perform just a visual inspection alone. That's just the outside of it. And just technicians using a pen and paper and their eyes. That's it. At UltraView, we're changing that. So we have developed a fully NDAA compliant, meaning we work with the military, drone platform that is fully autonomous, no pilot needed, to automate that aircraft inspection program. With our system, we're able to capture and inspect an aircraft and frame in about an hour to get that aircraft turned around and back into service. So let me show you how it works. So our drone is a fully customized drone that allows us to work with both commercial aviation and DoD. It's able to operate both indoors and outdoors, and it captures high-resolution image data from around the aircraft. Now, it's not magic. We've developed a very robust autonomy stack to make this happen, which you'll see. But it's very simple. You put the drone next to the aircraft, you press select the aircraft, and you press start. And that's it. Our software takes it from there. Identifying different defects and reporting it to our technicians and getting them back to servicing the aircraft faster than ever before. And so since we started back in June of 2023, we've really been working. Just this year, Boeing has selected us to become an approved vendor in the aircraft maintenance manuals for the 737 and the 777 aircraft, which we're working on with Alaska Airlines. We also have outstanding right now 6 letters of intent valued at $1.4 million ARR. And I'm really excited to announce that after attending a showcase with Warner Robins Air Force Base, the largest MatchCom in the U.S. With access to depots, Air Force depots all over the world, we were selected to move forward with a customer memorandum for our phase 2, which is valued at $1.2 million, with a $2 million contract at the end 2027 to deploy with the F-16s, C-5, C-17s, and KC-130s. And for brigadier generals like Max Stitzer here, like what we're doing is truly revolutionizing the U.S. Air Force's maintenance programs. So we are also a software company. We are a software company that utilizes a hardware product, but we have SaaS metrics as well. We lease our system out to our customers, allowing them to triple their capabilities. And with that being said, like our COGS are fairly low. A drone costs us about $25,000 to produce, and with our business model, we coop that back in about a month and a half to 2 months, giving us an 88% margin. But what I'm really excited about is how much we are saving our customers. There's events called aircraft on ground events, or AOGs. When those events happen, aircraft are taken out of service. This happens when a lightning strike happens, a hailstorm happens, or another impact that causes damage to the airframe. Without, it costs an airline upward on average $150,000 per incident per day that aircraft is out of service. With our solution, performing those inspections in an hour and ultimately returning in probably about 3, we save our airline customers hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we also provide them access to novel data sets they have never had before, so they can do some really cool things around predictive maintenance and fleet planning. So we initially thought this market was going to be a little bit smaller because I'm an engineer and like to look at very things granular. But calculating those AOG events that happened, in 2023 alone, there were over 300,000 of these events, multiplied by $150,000 just, let's say, for one aircraft, it equals a $42 billion market. We expect that we can capture about 10% of that with our model in our early days, which really excites us because it's a big number. So. So myself, I'm a former Googler. My co-founder came from the largest aircraft MRO in North America on the buy side. He was responsible for bringing in these technologies and capabilities. I hold patents. He holds 12, so he beats me. And we have a team in computer vision. So we've built and scaled multi-billion-dollar projects within large enterprises and corporations. So we are the right team to tackle this issue. So we're raising $1.5 million just to open our access program with our 6 LOIs to work to convert them, to secure our approval with Boeing, and really to make sure that we are able to support our U.S. military in 2027. So I'd like to thank everyone and help them come along and join us to maintain the safety of flight. Oh, question, sorry.
Walk us through what the customer outreach is now. So the product is up and running, right?
So we do have a product that's up and running, so yes.
So, and it's like yesterday, were there drones testing, looking at planes or not yet?
So in ours, we worked with a development partner, so they have a drone that they've been using. There's a technical component that we are currently addressing, so it wasn't flying yesterday, but we do have one out with a customer.
Okay. And then the contracts you're signing right now would start when?
So these are like big LOIs. So and they could take around 6 months once we close them. So one of the first airlines that we'll be doing this with is Alaska Airlines and then LATAM. So we expect to be going to Chile here in hopefully the next month and a half or so. Mm-hmm. And then also Emirates being a very, very large one. So we want to make sure we're on P's and Q's for them. So we have to structure them out throughout the year. So I'm hopeful to try to get 6 all within the same year, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thanks for this, Colby. Super cool to see the drone sort of work like magic. And my question is, how do you sustain a technical moat through time?
That's a really great question. So we had the opportunity to see all of our competitors, and this includes Lockheed Martin, a company that's invested by Boeing, and a couple other companies, and one of our main direct competitors that are French. To sustain the technical moat, building out just the autonomy stack alone, and the way that we integrate and we build our processes around the customer is what helps us sustain that. It's very difficult to create an autonomy stack. I know we've been doing it for a while, and seeing where we were in comparison to our other competitors at this showcase in front of a bunch of 2, 3, and 4-star generals really just solidified how far ahead that we are in that moat. So I'd say anyone that wanted to jump in today, it would take them probably 3 to 4 years before they would get that. And this is coming from seeing a company that Boeing invested in.
Talking about competitors, we've looked at probably a competitor of yours. I think they're based in the Netherlands, and they don't have drones, but it's sort of picture-based. And so they're applying computer vision to inspecting aircrafts. And so when you think about going head-to-head, maybe with some of those players and maybe some of the players that do have drones, are you finding that you would win on price or accuracy or savings?
So that's a great question. I know exactly who you're talking about. No airline is actually solidified to one particular customer right now. So that's been our saving grace. I mean, I've been approached by United because they want to switch from another one of our competitors because they wrote an awful contract. So with that being said, I'm sorry, I lost the question.
If you're going head-to-head against a competitor, do
yeah.
you think you're winning on?
I think for us in terms of price, because we're not the first mover for sure. We started by building our own platform and we built the autonomy stack itself. But what we're doing is like we have a centralized, and as much as this matters right now, our US-based entity. So we can work with the US Defense Department. So for other customers, since we would be definitely competing on price for sure. Because we'd probably come in a little bit cheaper because we're really just kind of rolling out the product.
Thank you.
We are at time.
Oh, dang, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, Colby. Please give it up one more time for UltraView. Okay, I told you amazing. Up next, we have the CEO of Opus Health, Carolina Rojas.
Hi, I'm Carolina Rojas, the founder of Opus Health, and we're on a mission to make healthcare payments simple. Opus was born from a deeply personal experience. About 3 years ago, after suffering from an acute COVID-19 infection, my husband, like so many others, was diagnosed with a severe autoimmune disease. Not only was this an emotional drain, it was a financial one as well. Suddenly, we had thousands of dollars worth of medical expenses in co-pays, medication, and even hospital visits. What's more, it wasn't until we turned to concierge care that his health meaningfully improved. However, we were left facing the toughest question of all. How are we going to pay and manage all these ongoing medical expenses? And that's when Opus was born. Today, 74% of adults are concerned about unexpected medical bills. And as a society, we spend $450 billion in out-of-pocket medical expenses every single year. Simultaneously, providers are struggling to make ends meet. Today, they waste about $500 billion annually on only insurance-related compliance costs. But here's the kicker. There's about $150 billion in HSA and FSA accounts that are going underutilized every single year. These accounts can save patients anywhere from 20 to 40% in their medical bills. However, because they're so complex, it's difficult for them to optimize them. Enter Opus. At Opus, we're building the first platform to help patients reduce their out-of-pocket medical expense through HSA and FSA automation. We're helping patients save at precisely the moment that they need it the most, at the point of care. We also offer membership tools that help providers transition to membership-based models easily. For patients, we're turning a confusing healthcare benefit into something that's simple. We provide real-time visibility into available accounts, transparency on savings, and automated reimbursements. Essentially, we are the PayPal for HSA and FSA benefits. For providers, we're reducing overhead costs by 40%, and we're also increasing revenue anywhere from 30 and 40%. We're also a first mover in this space, as we're the only solution that provides an integrated platform for providers of all shapes and sizes. Feedback from providers has been overwhelmingly positive in our ability to provide a novel solution to a consistent problem. And early traction has confirmed this. To date, we've signed 4 LOIs, so it's increased since I've sent this over, amounting to $160K in ARR. We also have 8 active prospects in our pipeline, representing $4.9 million in potential ARR. We have 3 core revenue streams. We have a SaaS fee for provider integrations, a transaction fee for HSAs and FSAs managed on our account, and we also take a percentage of the membership plans managed on our account, representing a substantial revenue opportunity. The markets we're also going after represent a significant and expanding opportunity. The HSA market, representing $260 billion in eligible accounts, has grown at a rate of 19% year over year. Meanwhile, the direct care market has ballooned over the last couple years, as providers are now transitioning from insurance models to membership-based care. Healthcare affordability and accessibility has also been top of mind for regulators, and recent regulations have shown this. Currently, there are 2 bills in front of Congress that would also expand HSA eligibility to millions of more Americans, while also making direct primary care more accessible. Modern payment infrastructure also make it feasible for us to create an integrated solution. Meanwhile, patients are more comfortable than ever with engaging with financial tools virtually, making this the perfect time for us to launch Opus. We would use the $1 million to build, launch, and scale Opus, specifically through our initial pilot customers. Through this, our goal is to build a case study that showcases how our platform can revolutionize how patients are accessing and engaging with financial products in healthcare. We also bring a combined expertise in healthcare, finance, and technology. I myself bring a unique perspective, having spent 5 years investing across healthcare and fintech. As the youngest principal investor at Distributed Ventures, I've led multi-million-dollar deals, I've sat on boards in fast-growing companies, and I've partnered with entrepreneurs and providers alike. More importantly, I'm deeply passionate about solving this problem and bringing this vision to life. Join us as we build a better healthcare payment system. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. This is awesome. It seems like Opus is incredibly well positioned at the intersection of healthcare payments and consumer-driven care. Talk to us a little bit about why you think the market is ready to shift to direct pay models for care.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think at this point of time, we've seen that employers are really focused on shifting to consumer-directed healthcare. I think we've seen a lot of folks kind of come to the realization that insurance isn't providing them as much benefits as they originally thought. And so I think it's kind of like the perfect storm in which we've seen employers saying, okay, are we really getting a lot out of these group health plans? Should we change to more consumer-directed healthcare, which is what we've seen happening already with ICHRA plans and other consumer-directed health solutions? Simultaneously, individuals are getting frustrated with the lack of transparency, and they want to engage with models that, they have transparency in the forefront and they know kind of like what they're getting out of it. So I think all of that combined is kind of making the perfect storm for folks to transition. And then also regulatory-wise, we're seeing people pounding the table saying, why can't we make direct primary care more accessible? This is a model that we've seen work. And I think if we're empowering the user to allocate their dollars in the way that they want to, they would choose more direct care and transparent models.
I'll go. Thank you for the presentation. To what extent have you explored using this as a way for also other eligible costs? So I know there's always a rush at the end of the year, like buy those contacts, buy those extra purchases. Like how does that fit within the model that you're working on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think we're starting in the most difficult space, which is the provider space. And our end goal is to be the solution for all consumer-driven healthcare models. So HSA, FSAs, there's HRA accounts, flexible spending accounts, and no one else is, in terms of our competitors, they're really being thoughtful of how do you aggregate these accounts? How do you actually educate the end user? I think a lot of people are coming from this in the sense of people know how to engage with these products. Let's make it easier at the checkout space and just like tell you what, toothpaste is eligible, what, all these things that are eligible, whereas we're really trying to be intentional with the education piece. And I think starting here, we can then expand, after we're in the provider space, in the services space, which is where people have the highest cost, then we can expand to the e-commerce space as well and provide a benefit in terms of, how are you paying for those as well? Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Oh, never mind.
Ask it later. The show must go on. Thank you so much, Carolina. Please give it up for Opus Health. Okay, next up, I would love to introduce Chikara Epenyo, CEO of Volta Health.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chikata Peña, and I'm here on behalf of Volta, and not just Volta Health, but the Ghanaian people of the Volta region. That's where I'm from. And like generations of AOA people before me, we've come to view the Volta River as a lifeline. And just as that river served as a lifeline for our communities for centuries, our mission here at Volta is to be that lifeline for the institutions that are cultivating the next generation. We're pioneering the first ever student healthcare operating system. And it's something that's needed more than ever because there's growing pressure on universities. They've got fragmented systems that are leading to administrative nightmares. They've got, confusion with they've got confusion that's leading to with compliance that's leading to funding risk. And there's as we can see, there's more and more pressure under these colleges and universities through funding risk. If that's not enough, the mental health crisis right now is underscoring why universities need to be more diligent more than ever with their health resources. And that's what Volta's here to do. And when we get on a campus, everyone gets an A. So students, they're getting a unified, intuitive health experience that provides them simple navigation to care providers, compliance reminders, and personalized wellness support. For administrators, we're automating compliance and reporting to free up their bandwidth and minimize costly errors. And then for the institutions, we're providing them valuable insights on ways to optimize funding, reduce risk, and enhance student well-being. Now, 5 minutes is not nearly enough time for me to go through all our features, but I'll focus on this one, and I'll use 2 universities here in the city as an example. Our legal counsel said I can't use their names, so I'm going to call them University Purple and University Blue, right? So these institutions, they require all their students to have health insurance. Part of it is because of a huge liability risk, right? But the process of verifying that health insurance is so complex, they often outsource that to health insurance brokerages. Now, when these brokerages come in, they charge a 10% premium on the overall cost of the plan, right? So you're probably thinking, what's that number? For Purple, that's $80 million. For Blue, that's $125 million, right? So for something that our system automates and does effectively at a fraction of the cost, brokers are getting an $8 million and $12.5 million commission respectively, right? And in fact, our entire system for those 2 institutions would cost just $1.8 million and $3.2 million respectively. And that's a wraparound solution that's addressing multiple pain points when it comes to compliance and regulation, not just one, right? And I know what the judges are thinking. It's hard to sell to schools, right? I know, right? And you're right. It is. And that's why we've moved away from selling to universities, right? So, what we do is actually we split our per student enrollment fee between health insurance brokers as well as health insurance payers, right? And in fact, I'm really thrilled to announce just on Monday, we got a commitment from a prominent payer in the space for us to be their exclusive solution for the years to come, right? And that's going, to show that our trifurcated pricing and, selling model is working so well, in fact, that this is our progress. And mind you, I graduated from a Yale MBA less than a year ago, right? And what's even more incredible is that we've been able to do this without spending a penny on marketing or sales. And so that's why we're here, right? Winning Peerless will be that rocket fuel that will take us to the next step, right? It means accelerating our growth and impact significantly, right? In order for us to deliver on the commitments that we have and bring in more. And I've recruited a team that's ready for more. Not only do we look like the population that we're serving, we've got deep domain expertise in healthcare, education, and enterprise SaaS. So Cami, I recruited her after she spent 8 years climbing the ranks at Goldman, right? Kelly, after her last startup exited to Mayo Clinic, she was actually sitting on a beach on vacation when I gave her a call. 2 days later, she was on a flight back home. And as for me, I'm so passionate about this that I gave up a career in medicine after going to Brown Medical School to pursue this, right? And I have immigrant parents, so imagine what they felt like. But, when I was telling them, I reminded them why they named me Chikata after my great-grandfather. Because in Ewe, Atikata means to impact the lives of people. So for me, Volta is not just a promising business. It's about living up to my name. It's my life's work to use Volta to make sure that these institutions can give the next generation the same incredible experience that many of us did. And as much, if not more importantly, it's about reshaping healthcare for students of every sex, color, and creed. Thank you.
Thanks, Shakata. Can you tell us a little bit about how customer onboarding and implementation works? And universities, higher ed institutions are notoriously difficult to work with, and so, but there's lots of concerns about PHI, PII. So how do you navigate all of that?
No, that's a great question. I spent the past 48 hours in Minneapolis, so onboarding a client. I think one thing that's really unique about our solution is that we're working through the broker or through the payer. Right, so they're bringing us on board. So we actually partner very closely with the broker or the payer during an implementation process. In fact, one of the decisions that I made, a couple months ago is that we brought over the former director of implementation at Aetna. And she has over 20 years of experience doing this, right? And she was, implementing 180 schools a year. So when it comes to one or two, to begin with, that's not too big of a problem with her. And moreover, she has these relationships with the payers, with the brokers, things of that nature, right? So, we come as a broker or a payer's tech solution, right? And that actually helps us through the procurement process, which a lot of clients usually get bogged down in because we're not going through the university procurement process. We're coming as a subcontract for the broker or payer, and obviously the goal over time is to gain that relationship with the university so that whatever may happen in the future, we still have direct line of sight to to the end user.
Yep. I have a quick question. You said you were the exclusive solution maybe for a payer. Is there some kind of exclusivity you can lock in? What does it mean to be exclusive?
So we can talk to other people, but they're using us. Obviously, exclusive contracts are expensive, right? So what that means is for the next 4 years, they're going to be using our insurance solution, our immunization compliance solution, et cetera. So if anybody else, which there's nobody else right now, but if anybody else were to come along, we still have that contract, right? Even all our contracts are multi-year contracts, but that's what it means. But in terms of, on our side, we're currently in negotiations with, 2 other payers. So that doesn't necessarily bog us down.
So the product has not been installed yet, right? You are installing it now, or how many are people using it right now?
There are people using it. So, one of the first schools that we actually, we started with a pilot at Ohio State last January. One of our prominent clients actually up here in the Bronx, the University of Mount St. Vincent. But then this, and those are all really just soft launches, right? They had different components of our platform, but this summer is really our big go live. So, I was talking to Omar yesterday, I spent the past couple of days in Minneapolis, right? Because we just signed on Mayo Clinic and we're implementing them as we speak right now. And then next week we're going to be in Providence implementing another school. So, the big go lives are now, but we've already kind of been, we've worked out a lot of the kinks already.
And last question, how much does a good sized client pay you?
So our ACV, it varies wildly, right? Because, ultimately, we're doing it based on enrollment volume, right? So if you're a Texas A&M with 75,000 students, we're charging you the same as we're charging a University of Mount St. Vincent with 3,200, right? The key difference is that it's not Texas A&M that's paying us, right? It's Risk Strategies, which is their broker, and it's not a headhunting contract with Risk Strategies. They're paying us, to be able to use a solution for the population. But if we were to kind of just look at the average ACV, it's around $300,000 to $400,000 a year because universities are large.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is this moving back and forward? Well, somebody will figure out and know if these are their slides or not. Right now, I will introduce, the co-founders of Raya Power, Megan Wood and Nicole Gonzalez. Thank you so much. There it is.
Awesome. All right. Imagine a world where getting residential solar was as normal as buying an IKEA table for your home. We are Raya Power, and we want to revolutionize the way people interact with solar today to make this vision a reality. You may think traditional solar has already solved this problem, but really only 3% of the US homes have it. This is because you're selling a complex, long construction project with extreme permits, $25,000 or a 25-year lease, to a segment of the population who doesn't really think much about their electricity bill in the first place. This leads to high customer acquisition costs, as well as and poor economics. At the same time, 40% of US homes are low to moderate income and are actually struggling to pay their electricity bills, but they're really left out of any solutions that exist today.
At Raya Power, we are radically redesigning that. We're solving for this massive underserved market. We've gotten up onto rooftops in Puerto Rico. We have talked to customers across California and beyond, and we are systematically reducing all of the different barriers that are structurally preventing people from accessing solar. We've redesigned the customer experience to make it as easy as going out and purchasing an appliance. We're renter-friendly, no roof required. We have a system that starts at $2,500 instead of $25K, and it's a process that takes hours instead of months. How does that work? Using our patent-pending system, you bring home 4 to 6 panels, you place them wherever you have access to the sun, and then you plug in our plug-and-play inverter and battery system and connect it up to your core appliances in the home. It starts running immediately, displacing your energy bill, offering you savings, and it runs in parallel to your grid, so we're able to operate without utility permits, without structural modifications to the home, and without electrical work needed. How does that actually work? You open up our app, and you point it to the most important appliances in your home, and we give you a sense of the energy load that you can expect them to consume. Then you step outside, and you select potential panel locations. It could be on your roof, it could be a fence, wall, or an area in your yard. And we're going to give you a sense of how much you can save with our system and a recommended system size. The Raya kit arrives to your front door, and you can install it yourself with the help of our app guiding you, or you can book an installer to take care of that part for you.
So, customers can save $2,000 a year on their bill, with the system breaking even in just 2 years. This incorporates an industry standard profit margin of about 25%, but we have huge upside potential as our system breaks even 8 years earlier than traditional solar. Customers can buy the system outright, or they can finance it for $0 down with a monthly payment that's lower than their savings. This means they save from day one. Low-income customers can also participate in our philanthropic programs. We also will have a monthly recurring subscription for energy optimization. Raya Power fills a huge white space in the market today. We're not only the cheapest offering, we're also the easiest to use and to install, and we're the only product designed specifically for this market that's unserved today. So who are we, and why should we be the ones to make this a reality? I'm Megan Wood, our CEO. My background was a consultant at Bain before I met Nicole at a friend's wedding while doing my MBA and MS in sustainable energy at Stanford. I couldn't shut up about how cool solar was, this physical product that can make you money and save you more than putting it in the stock market, if only we had a better way of getting it to people.
And I'm Nicole Gonzalez, I'm our CTO, and for me, this problem is deeply personal. Straddling two worlds, working on cutting-edge technology, electrical engineering in Princeton, working on the Mars rover at NASA, and working on my master's in product design for social impact, as well as small-scale solar in East Africa. And in contrast, watching the electrical grid repeatedly collapse in my home, Puerto Rico. Straddling these two worlds, it is crystal clear that the technology exists for people to have access to reliable, affordable energy. And that is why I believe so firmly in productizing our access to the abundant energy of the sun. We also have an amazing group of investors and advisors supporting us along our journey, from Tesla to First Solar to D-Light.
We're initially starting in Central Valley, California and Puerto Rico, where it's very hot, electricity prices are high, and there's a lot of outages. We're initially offsetting air conditioners because we know with that load, we can give the return on investment customers are expecting. This market is absolutely massive. Just looking at single-family, low-moderate income homes with a spot for solar and an air conditioning, we're already at a $14 billion market. We have a unique approach early on that allows us to keep customer acquisition costs low. We're taking advantage of existing groups that already serve our target customers, but who just don't have the technology to get to them. This means getting scaled purchases. So example, 100 units with grid alternatives to serve Fresno, California. This allows us to build our brand recognition before we then go to more traditional retail markets. We're targeting $440 million revenue in 5 years to pass a $1 billion valuation.
We closed a $1 million pre-seed round in January and have been iterating on our prototype alongside customers. We're aiming for a commercially ready product before the end of the year, and Peerless would be transformative in accelerating that development and reaching scale faster. We are Raya Power, and we believe that the future of energy is clear: distributed solar within everyone's reach. Welcome to the future of solar.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. In terms of the system itself, once you buy it, what's like the portability of it, especially in the US where moving apartments once, twice a year is, or once or every 1 or 2 years is feasible?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. We have two different approaches there. One is where people can buy our system, and because we don't make any structural home modifications, it can all be reversed. So you're able to remove our mounts, you're able to pack it all up and take it with you where you go, and you're not stuck into a lease that you won't be able to take along. And then the other approach is that you could also leave it in the home because it is permanent enough to be left. And you could sell that as part of selling a property, or just simply move on and have a landlord take that on as well.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about your panels? How did you design them? Who helped you do so? Where are you manufacturing them? How are you shipping them over? Can you talk to us a little bit about, the product?
Great question. So the panels themselves is just a component of our system. And for that, we are using proven out, affordable panels that already exist on the market. And our differentiator is that we design the integration. So it's how they actually get mounted onto your home that is fundamentally different than what's available today. Instead of going and drilling onto a roof, going out buying PVC piping to be able to run conduit wires all the way over to your electrical box in your home, we are productizing that whole segment. And so you just have received that portion of our kit and can install it.
So that would be the differentiation. How are you thinking about the defensibility?
Yeah, so there's a few different parts to this. First, there is patented parts of our system, both in the integration, in the software elements as well for energy optimization, and so the way it all comes together. The second is the market itself. No one is really looking at this market at all. They're really left out, to be honest. And so what we've noticed in the past, 6 months even of designing the system is the devil's in the details. So all the specifics that matter and how we design it with our communities and build trust with them is super, super important. So building these relationships with the community groups on the ground is how we create sort of our market moat. We become the go-to person for low, moderate income electrification, and then that brand allows us to continue to expand our presence that way by building out that trust that other people won't be able to do in the market.
Thank you.
You're mostly focused on residential, but doesn't this apply to small businesses as well, or it might even be a better market?
It's a great question and something we've thought about a lot, like looking at fridges, partnering with Coca-Cola, who can go to all the fridges in Latin America, for example. Like, there's so many opportunities where we could go to this. What's great is it's very modular and sort of Lego-like in the way we're designing it to keep us flexible. So we're working with residents right now to make sure we can get the design perfectly down and find our core components that we like, get those supply chains in order. But the actual go-to-market, we'd be excited to iterate on of, would small businesses be a really great market as well? Absolutely. Do they have the space for the panels? Would they be allowed to? All questions we need to figure out.
Megan, Nicole, thank you so much. Kevin keeps sneaking in the buzzer beater questions. I see what you're doing. Our fifth out of our 5 finalists, I would love to welcome to the stage Juan Manuel Barrero, CEO of Lazo.
Hello, my name is Juan Manuel Barrero. I'm a third-time Latino founder, and I'm a founder and CEO of Lazo. If you listen closely to my intro, you realize 3 things about me. I'm a proud Latin American, I'm a persistent founder that came to the United States to pursue my dream, and I have failed. And from those failures, I am already building a company and bootstrap a company of 1,000 recurring customers, 4 million in revenues, and 15,000 of community members. As a serial entrepreneur, failures comes with the territory. In fact, 9 out of 10 startups fail. Most of the founders struggle to raise capital, so they run out of cash. Also, founders lack of resources. They don't have the time, they don't have the money, and they don't have a clue how to meet institutional investor requirements. Founders waste months juggling tax, accounting, payroll, finance, fundraising, relying on disconnected experts that are slow, expensive, and inefficient. again, draining their time, their resources, and their focus. The results, most of the startups don't survive. After 3 years in the market, we are convinced that there's a huge opportunity to build a solution that speaks the founder's language, understands their unique culture and needs and businesses, accomplish end-to-end data management, offers a 24/7 service, reduce unnecessary costs, and leverage AI to scale, scale, and scale. So what we're building at Lasso? At Lasso, we are revolutionizing startup operations with augmented intelligence, not to replace human, but to give founders superpowers across finance, legal, HR, and fundraising. Instead of simply automating accounting like everyone else, we're building intelligent agents that seamlessly connects all the dots of the enterprise. So that's why we trademarked the term augmented ops, because we are not just optimizing workflows, we are redefining how startups operate. So Lasso is a one-stop shop solution that integrates AI with human expertise to simplify startup operations. We bring the best financial, legal, and fundraising tools into a seamless platform. So founders can set up a strong financial and legal foundation without hiring an army of people, manage everything from accounting, tax, legal documents to investor relation in a single hub, and use AI to find and connect investors at a fraction of the cost. We are not automating key operations. We are structuring startup data to make scaling and fundraising easier and more efficient than ever. Now, with Lasso, founders can truly dream of becoming a one-person unicorn with a human-centric approach augmented by AI. Beyond our amazing community of supporters and founders, we build a world-class team of industry experts with the AI engineers and data scientists to drive this transformation. We have a diverse team with a deep understanding of the problem and robust expertise in product development. And for me, this journey is truly personal. After scaling 2 professional services companies and 12 years of experience working with the startups and VCs, my roots in these industries are very deep, even since before I was born, because my father was a CPA in a small town in Argentina. So Lasso's mission isn't just another venture for me, it's in my DNA. And in less than 4 years, and with only 400 raised from smart money angels, we are already serving 1,000 customers. We also hit 4.1 in annualized revenue, and with already 63% of gross margins. We also closed more than 200 partnerships with industry giants like Techstars YC, empowering our community strategy, and we are a cash flow positive company. We've been growing organically since inception. So every month, we are getting smarter on predicting our revenue. For the next 18 months, we are going to convert 30% of those community members into active customers, making approximately 4,000 new customers in the next 18 months. The opportunity is massive. Over 5,000 of new startups, of new companies, over 5 million of new companies are created in the United States every year. As AI reshapes industry, the next frontier is structuring operational data and helping even non-tech businesses leverage AI effectively. Lasso is leading the shift, building the AI-powered infrastructure to help founders and investors make smarter, faster, and more informed decisions about the ideas they bring to this world. The future of startup operations is here, and we are building it. Thank you very much.
How much are you relying on partnerships versus do you own the full stack?
I can show you, but basically we develop some technologies, for example, data room, dashboards. We automate the services part, so we call that the service as a software. And then we integrate with existing solutions like cap table management, payroll tools, because we don't want to reinvent that wheel. So it's kind of half and half. As soon as we are ahead of, we might consider to replace some of them.
Can you talk about how you acquire your customers?
Today, we are acquiring customers a lot with partnership and with our community strategy, and we are expecting to start acquiring more as we develop our product and product-led growth strategy with creating more features about community inside of our product and then get them to pay into our platform. So today is basically partnership with investors, accelerators, and all the events that we're doing that are creating a brand awareness and has been organic.
You started your presentation saying 9 out of 10 startups fail, which is sort of the sad reality. How do you think of your customer base in terms of churn and net retention?
Well, in terms of churn, of course, most of our customers that we churn are because they die. So we do from incorporation to dissolution. So last year we had between 1 or 2%, and this year we are on track to get under 10% of the year in churn. About retention, we believe that AI and connecting all the dots will let us to identify all the opportunities, to identify those potential churn previously and help them before we notice that they are going to die.
How did you get through the first 18 months with so little money? I mean, did you not take a salary? How did you? That's hard to do.
The first 18 months of the company? Well, I built 2 professional service companies before. I had my savings, so I moved with my wife to Miami, and I started building the company. Of course, as we started like a heavy lifting operation, it was more like service oriented. We hired a lot of people in Argentina, which at that moment was very competitive and very great talent. So that's how we built like a very efficient, capital efficient company.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of organic growth that has led to where you are today. How do you envision that evolving as you continue to grow? Do you still want to focus on these very organic growth measures, or will that change in the future for you?
Well, I think the community is part of our key differentiator. Even like people can start like using AI and have the best engineers like we're hiring as well. I think AI is at the end, everybody can copy us, like connecting all the dots, because we have all vertical competitors, but we are connecting all the dots in one place. So as soon as they start like probably copying whatever what we're doing, I think community is going to be our key, and we believe that it's going to be the multiplier effect of, because if we have 15,000 of people coming to our events and to newsletters and things like that, we can start like converting them into a customer more easy because they are more stick to our brand. And also, we believe that I'm already working with a VC, for example, and if I can send you like a report of 4 startups that are working with me in a monthly basis about how your startups are doing, also VCs are going to start like trying to push their startups into our platform because we are going to save them time in the portfolio management.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to our brilliant, inquisitive, thoughtful judges. Thank you to our founders, our CEOs who are living in the future, who are reminding us that the future is bright, and maybe even more consequentially, that the future is in very, very good hands. Thank you for your time for Peerless and for going out and changing the world from robotics, fintech, healthcare, climate. Nothing is untouched. The world needs you to succeed, and we believe that you will. Please give it up one more time for the Peerless Final 5. Okay, next I would like to introduce Ron Fleming from Pillsbury, our partner, our legal partner for startups. Ron Fleming.
Right here.
Yes, they specialize in supporting startups, and they are a great friend to us.
Take the leap, people. Take the leap. So happy to be here with team members Taylor and Sarah, and Brian is here. So make sure you see them after. They're very good at mingling and holding drinks. Just want to say, listen, and I've been on many stages with Kevin over the last 22 years. Kind of hard to believe. And all I'll say is, when we started doing all of this stuff back in the 90s, the entire ecosystem basically could have fit on this stage. And it's just mind-boggling to think that in our lifetimes, let alone our careers, that it's become what it's become. So it's been the joy of a career and a lifetime to watch all this happen and be part of it in a small way, helping founders like you all win. And we all, I know it sounds a little hokey, but we kind of live and breathe as part of this ecosystem and making great things happen and solving some of the world's biggest problems, health and energy and beyond, and truly feel blessed to be part of it and look forward to helping all of you win on the next 30, 40 years. So congrats to everyone making it to this level, and we look forward to meeting all of you and helping you any way we can. Thanks.
All right, now I believe the judges will retire to deliberate. We will meet you back out in the cocktail area, have another drink, since at this point you're not going back to work in this condition. And then we'll be back with the results of their scoring shortly. Thank you all so much.
Conference room across the way.